Okay, so I'm going to, this is my rough draft where I've got this line drawn through my design. And so I'm going to try two different things on this. I'm going to do one design over here and one design on this side. Okay, and this is going to allow me to not have to do this again. Like I can get kind of double or quadruple the amount of ideas on what this would look like. Okay, so at least for one of them, I'm going to decide that I want to try making some type of design with like pink and purple. Okay, and so I've pulled a couple of colors. I've sharpened these. I've got some sharpeners that you can use. These are all just like community ones, but once you pick the color that you're going to use and you finalize that, I want you to keep the colored pencils with you. Okay, like you keep them until you are done with them, unless you have some at home that you're going to use. Okay, and so we're going to actually like erase things and draw on here. You can see that this is fairly dark. Okay, because I was trying to draw so you could see on the board. I think I'm going to go and kind of lighten my section, and I'm going to erase, for sure, erase the box that I have around it so we don't see that anymore. Okay, and so if we have anything that's wrong today, like that does not fill the box, then we're just going to fix it on this sheet. And there might be some like pencil marks that you can't erase, but you make the mistake on the rough draft and not on your final. Okay, so I think that's a good thing. I'm going to go ahead and start with my light colored pencil and like fill in. And I'm going all one direction, and I'm kind of putting like a base coat on this. I do have to kind of go across maybe at the very edge, but I'm pressing light and filling in my section. And this is just for like one of the things that I want to do. So this kind of depends on what you want this to look like, but it's best with colored pencils to layer as much as you can. Even with like Crayola ones, like this one happened to be a Prisma one that I pulled. Okay, I need everybody's eyes up at the board. Turn your body and face that direction. It's so hard to turn and not see it. Okay, so I've got like a light color here. I'm going to try and just like darken the backs of all of these. So I'm going to use a different color. So I've got like two here. And so like I can go, and I already have some colored pencil on there from that lighter color. So this does mix it a little bit together, but I'm going to go on my edge and kind of press and like work my way in and put another layer, but a layer of like this darker like pink. Okay, and then I'm even going to go back and add some of this lighter one again, get a little bit more on there, at least on this upright part right here, and then go back and push even harder. It's just eventually your colored or your paper gets saturated. It's like you can't, no matter how much you try, you can't put any more colored pencil on it. Okay, so this is really how you want to like slowly build this up, but this allows me to see like two colors. Let's see if I can zoom in on this section where you can kind of see where we've got, there we go, that's probably better. Two values that are on this. So I'm even going to go back with my other, like my lighter color, and they're pretty close together on what they look like. So it's going to be harder to maybe see it up at the front. I'm going to do, it really is up to you on where you want to put these, but kind of experiment with a couple different things. So maybe this is what, maybe this would be more of a girly version of the confetti that I'm doing, like the kindness. Okay, and just come back, add a little bit more, and just slowly work your way up on the thickness of it. And that's going to make your design look a lot nicer. Okay, and it is nice. I erased that pencil. You can't see as much of it. On this one, you can see some. So, but work back, and then you're just kind of going back and forth until you feel like you've got the right kind of color. So this is like doing like a couple different values together, okay, or a couple different colors together. Okay, so that could be, I mean, like what I do with this word is that I'm like a light base coat, and then I put like that color, that darker pink on there. And you'll probably have to like look up here and really see it, but then you can go a lot more, like fill this in a little bit more. And I'm really only doing half of it with one color and half of it with the other. And then it just kind of like blends together. But since I went light, and I went light with all that one color, it really does help it blend. Okay, and you'll kind of see what I mean by that saturation, where you really, no matter how hard you push, you're not going to get any more colored pencil on there. Okay, so maybe I would try maybe these two colors. I'm not even 100% sure what these look like. And so it's probably best to try this on something else and see before you actually color with it. Do you see how I just did that too? And even this one. If you drop a colored pencil, most likely the lead inside there is cracked, like it's split inside. And so when you sharpen it, you can have pieces fall out. And these are sadly ones that have probably been dropped a lot because they're just, you know, community ones that I let the entire school use if they need it. So it can be kind of a pain. Okay, so there is a lead in there that you'll have to knock out sometimes if it breaks inside of it. But not a big deal. Hopefully you can still find the colors that you need, and this will still work. Okay, so then I have a color right here, which I don't know if that's as dark as I thought it was going to be. Maybe those are the same color. Maybe I would rather like this purple over here. So it's nice to be able to test it on something to figure out, okay, what do I want to use? Okay, so maybe I want to, on this one, put like kind of an outline around the outside of it instead. And I forgot to lighten this. I'm going to go ahead and erase too. I drew so hard I can see mine, even if you can't see it up there. But I'm going to erase this so you can see it without it and just do a couple letters. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing, put a little bit of a really light, like a light layer on there. So it's barely there, and then you can kind of work up with some of the other colors. And for this, I'm trying to go like around and kind of get, I'll show you at least what I want on this one. So put another kind of layer on here. I can push a little bit more. This is kind of like a mid, like I'm halfway maybe filled up the saturation of that pencil or the paper. Okay, so then since I've got like a nice color here, I'm going to go through and really make the edge of this dark. Okay, which again, this is going to be like impossible to get rid of, right? You're not going to be able to erase this on there. And then I'm going to go a little bit harder with this one. Okay, and kind of fill that up. So then same kind of thing I could do here. Like get just a base coat. And then I want to outline this one. But you could do all kinds of things. You could do stripes or polka dots or like two different, like completely different colors. But work your way up with layers because you're going to get more of a solid coat rather than something that's really streaky and really like elementary looking. Okay, so let's say like this is what I'm looking at for, and I almost went too far, look at that. You gotta be careful. Okay, so this is what I was thinking, at least on this side, pinks and purples, and making this look kind of girly. The other side, I was thinking, well, maybe I want to do something more neutral where I do like gray and black. Okay, and I just do the words in kind of a neutral color. And again, I have that break. It's just kind of what happens when things get dropped and not taken care of. So you got to make sure that piece comes out so you can sharpen it. Okay, so let's make sure we have something to work with. But I think I'm going to do lighter on the outside. Oh, come on, colored pencil. So I'm going to fill it with gray first and then try and go around with this black. This black is being not so nice to me. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this colored pencil has broken like 4 or 5 times. So we'll see if we have anything, but sometimes you have to try a new colored pencil. It's amazing how, yep, there it goes again. They just like shatter inside. Okay. Now here's another thing. I'm pretty used to running my hand across to like clear some like pieces off. If I did that, I can get like these lines across it from the colored pencil that's left on there. Okay, so you have to be careful. Sometimes just like shaking it and getting it off is probably a better thing to do. But I'm going to use my gray. I'm going to try this on the N, and again, I'm going to erase, like lighten some of this, and I'll show you what it looks like a little bit later once I get it all done. Okay, so that would be like lightened, and then I'm going to just lightly go over and put a layer of this gray on here. So this will let you experiment with a couple of different things by doing it like this. Okay, so lightly do that, and then come in with some like black, and you can get like the outline of this. Okay, and this would be kind of like how this purple one was done. But it gives you at least an idea, do I like it? Do I not? I think I'm going to try and blend all this in. So here's another layer here, and then I'm going to do a dark kind of layer with this black and kind of blend this into the center. Okay, and try and keep it like the direction of the letter. You don't want to go lots of different directions.